Okay. Hello, everybody. We are Code Stars, and this is one of our recorded stand-ups. So we're going to be going around to talk about what we have done so far and what we're going to be continuing doing. First, we're going to be introducing ourselves. My name is Farham Kademi.
Yeah, hi, I'm Clive Lewis.
Hi, I'm Sharon D'Souza.
Hello, I'm Ayla Hatem.
I'm Dylan.
Hi, I'm Dhruv.
Okay, so we can begin right away to kind of briefly explain what we did. So my user story was the part where I take the NPC presets from Sharon's side and use it in the prompt as injecting the NPCs into the prompt and having them kind of be in the story at this point. The user can interact with the NPCs. So far, what I've done is finish the part where NPCs are in the story. They're gonna be like mentioned throughout the story whenever the GPT decides itself. The OpenAI is gonna like kind of figure out where and when it's gonna put the NPC into the story. But what I'm gonna do is try to make it more dynamic. So I'm gonna add more logic into it to make it where if the NPC is not nearby, the user can't interact with it. So you'll have that in mind. And that's pretty much what I'm gonna be doing from now on.
Yeah, so talking about my story, the endgame implementation based on the requirements has been implemented. I added a field of requirements in each story. Currently, the requirements might not exactly match the storyline, but the idea was to just see if it works. So I've added it only for two stories, added three requirements each, and tried to see, and added the rules in each of the OpenAI rules, saying that if these are even loosely matching as to what happened in the logs, then end the populate a field end game thing, end the game. So that seems to be working. The loosely functionality doesn't seem to be working, but if you give exact things, it is turning the end game to true. So that is still something that I have to work on. Secondly, the other thing is I still have to work on. So again, on the other end, the front end is also displaying like chat window gets disabled as soon as the game ends, and I've put I actually haven't checked the Figma yet, so I'll probably reach out to Sharon again. But I've for now just put a banner on top saying that whether you won or lost. So that was one thing, and so that is kind of implemented, but again, right now the main functionality that I still have to implement is make the decision of win or loss based on the dice roll, as how whether we won more in the dice rolls or lost more in the dice rolls. That would eventually that is what you were kind of. So if we met all the requirements and the dice rolls were more winning, then we declare it as a win on top, or else we declare it as a loss on top. So that logic still has to be implemented, and I'm willing to discuss because I might need someone's help on this because of my crunch timelines with other assignments currently. So if someone could just help me out on that, uh, maybe we could fast track things here, and I can start working on the technical paper also.
Sounds
So,
good.
mhm.
All right. So far what I've done is I implemented the logic for the admin side, which we didn't have initially. So all the post APIs, all the creation of the stories, the themes, the NPC characters, all of that is going to be processed on the admin side. I set up different endpoints for it. So none of those endpoints will be hit from the player side's front end. It's a whole different segregation for the admin. And in addition to that, I did so the NPCs are getting linked to the stories. And when you click on a story, it opens up. There's a prompt that opens up, and you can kind of see what NPCs and all their characteristics, their stats, trends, who they are, backstory, how they work, how they related to the story. All of that shows up on the side. What I'll be working on now is kind of cleaning up the UI a little bit. So it's just looks better and renders better because right now the overflow doesn't render as well. So I'm gonna be working on that.
Okay, so what I have to work on until now was creating the character. What I did is helping with creating screens in the front end part for creating a new character from scratch or just edit like choosing already created character. We created all the screens for the character, and I think what we have to do for now is maybe some improvements on how the screens look like, or maybe to add the option for editing a created character. But again, this has to be like worked on the future.
Yeah, so my task was to work on getting the AI to request for a dice roll for skill unpredictable outcomes. So I have worked on this by adding rules to the prompts, asking if the AI to request for dice roll when there's uncertainty in a few player actions. Then additionally, I've created a dice roll endpoint for the front end to call, which is locked only when the AI has decided a dice roll is required. And same for the play turn option. So if a dice roll is required, you cannot call the play turn API, which is free text, and vice versa. Um, Most of it is done. I think 90% of it is done. It's just that there are few test cases where nothing is really happening, or it's not really asking for a dice roll when I feel like a dice roll should have been asked for. So the rules have to be tightened up. Other than that, the UI for the dice roll has been done, and even the other story where it shows that it saves the logs and shows that the user has done a dice roll and the AI has responded with the results. That one is completely done. It just a few test cases have to be it has to be tested thoroughly because there are a lot of places that could break, and I have to single those out.
Okay.
All right. So, as Ayla mentioned before, I am working with her on the character creation screen for an ease of access to the users as well, and later too. We have added a functionality to select an existing character in the database. Sharon, I would like to have a word with you for that to allow the admin to also create characters and put in the database so that user would just have to select an existing character if they don't explicitly want to create one. Second thing is that I am currently exploring libraries with Murunbai for the text-to-speech implementation that we are. I am a bit behind on that because the research would take up some time, and I would reach out for help in the same thing as I'm still new to React. Also, I wanted to add, I would need some help in also storing the session data into the database, as currently I have just stored the selected character in the session storage in the browser itself. So I'd be reaching out for that as well. And Clive, count me in for the implementation that you have because I am really interested in looking forward to that.
Yeah, sure, Dhruv. Anyways, we
Yeah,
can discuss. I can also help you out with what you want to implement on the MongoDB side of things, so we can help hash it
fantastic.
out. Just
So,
another one point that I would like to raise is I might have to work with Dylan regarding the roll dice thing as well because my in-game implementation sometimes ends with a roll dice. So that sometimes causes an issue with how the game ends. So I might have to have a discussion with it. Just wanted to put it out.
Sure, we can hop on call after.
Mhm.
yeah, because I think I need to also discuss some things with you because during my testings with the characters, I realized something with the dice roll, not the number part, but um, yeah, we'll have to discuss this afterwards with
Mhm.
more detail.
If there are any bugs you guys find in the dice roll, please let me know because testing is a little hard for that.
No, it's the prompt injection part, which like has
Oh,
to
okay.
miss, which has to match everybody's thing. We'll have to like figure it out.
Yeah. Cool.
So, with that, I think everybody is aligned with everybody's tasks, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, let's do a confidence test. 1 to 5, if everybody confident with today's meeting. 1, 2, 3. Clive, I'm sure he's showing a 5 too.
Yeah, I'm showing up. I'm really sorry I couldn't start my camera today. I'm not currently in a proper environment for it, so just don't want to be distracting for everyone. Sorry.
No, no, it's all good. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
So, with that, we can conclude today's meeting.
Mhm.
Have a good day, everybody.
You
Yeah,
too. Thank you.
bye.
See you guys. Bye bye.